community fridges are social spaces where anyone can share surplus food, and the 200th community fridge has just opened on the Lancaster West Estate. It's expected to support up to 1,500 residents. And to talk more about the scheme, we have Liam Sweeney and the Community Fridge Network Manager at Hubbub and Abbas Let's have a look at that again. The Community Fridge Network Manager at Hubbub and Abbas Dadou, the Chair of Lancaster West Residents Association. Welcome to both of you. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm very well, thanks.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Who is that on the phone? Is that Liam?
That's Liam.
Okay.
Hi.
Do we have Abbas?
Hi, I'm all right.
Okay, right. I didn't.
Lovely to be with you.
Lovely to be with you both. I wasn't sure. This is the difficulty of technology. I can't see who's in front of me, so I haven't listened. But thanks so much for both coming on. And when I was talking to Eddie Nestor just a little bit earlier, we were speaking about community fridges and just how important they are. But you know, Liam, quite a few people don't know what they are, and it's something that is still not quite out there in the main consciousness of people. So could you just explain to some of the listeners what a community fridge might be?
Sure. So community fridges, in their simplest terms, they're social spaces where anyone can share food that would otherwise go to waste. They're all across the UK. We have a network of them, and they're run by local volunteers and community organisations. And their main aim is to reduce food waste and empower local communities to connect with one another through activities such as cooking sessions, workshops on how to grow your own fruit and veg, learning about new recipes, trying new foods, and connecting with people.
And with the community fridge now that's about to, that's opened up now on Lancaster West, Abbas, how important is it for the residents there that they have something like this that is local to them and accessible?
I think, first of all, I need to say how glad we are that we can collaborate on a project that will help our residents to reduce the food waste and provide a platform and training for residents to have a healthier diet by sharing their unwanted fruit and vegetables. And it's bringing jobs and opportunity to residents and giving residents a chance to connect with each other.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, it is a good thing to have. But how have the residents taken to this? Is this something that for them they're thrilled with? Does it concern some people that they actually need it in their space?
Yes, considering what has happened here, Lancaster West is where Grenfell Tower is located, and we had the tragedy in 2017 where 72 of residents perished into ashes, and that time residents came together and bounced back and helped each other and resisted against this trauma tragedy. So it's important on back of that we still carry on doing what is right for everybody else, and still trauma level is very high. So it's very important bringing people together and keep them connected and helping each other out.
And that's the main thing, isn't it? When we look at all of the things that have gone on very local to Lancaster West, Liam, in terms of being able to have something that brings community together. And it's not just a fridge that you put food in, like you said. This is about making sure that the community spirit and the feeling of belonging is something that goes wider. How important is that for wider society and the impact?
It's hugely important. I mean, we recently just opened a round of funding to support new groups to set up community fridges. We were overwhelmed with the influx of interest. So we've got a partnership with the co-op, and they've supported us. We've got 200 community fridges now open across the UK, but they've supported us throughout the year to develop 100 more. And all of these people showing interest in developing the project locally just shows that there's a real need in communities to not only save food waste, but to bring people together. And I think it's the guidance that we offer to groups and the ability to reach local communities and understand how people are struggling as a result of the pandemic and the after effects, but actually it's turning into a community hub that's helping people to rise to whatever challenges are thrown at them. So, they really are more than just a fridge.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of the wonderful things that you do, like you're speaking about some of the sessions that have been run, and it looks really good here. To launch the fridge, you had Mark Breen come down, didn't you? Did you manage to get down to that, Abbas? And he cooked frittatas, Moroccan frittatas, panzanella, banana ice cream. Were you there, Abbas? Were you front of the queue?
Yes, I was there. Yes, I was, and it was really vibrant atmosphere. Everybody were happy and joining each other, especially after 18 months of COVID and all the restrictions. It's very important to start these, how do I say, getting out of the pandemic restrictions in this way. And also what's happening on Lancaster West Estate, we have a massive program about refurbishment, sustainability, carbon zero neutral by 2030. So many other stuff going on at the same time. We started having a separate bins for food waste collection. So all these go hand in hand with like heat network for the wider community again. So it's very important we move on at all different levels at the same time and bringing this, maybe narrowing the gap. We have a massive gap in terms of poverty on our estate and neighboring estate places like Holland Park area. So all this will help us to move in the right direction.
So, you know, it's great to talk about the diversity of the estate, and I want to come back to that in a moment. But I do want to go back to you, Liam, just on the subject of food waste and the amount of food waste that we actually do. We constantly are throwing things away. I know for a fact I'm terrible sometimes with things that have been left in the fridge for far too long. And by the time I know it, you can't really use it for anything, and you just feel so guilty because there's not much else you can do with that food. How do we make people more aware of the impact of food waste and actually how community fridges might be able to help?
Well, I think it hits people hardest in the pockets. The average family actually throws away about £730 worth of food every year. You know, that's hard-earned money straight in the bin. And there are lots of things you can do to reduce food waste. The community fridges is a communal solution to one. But going back to across the UK, it's a hard number to try and fathom, but the UK wastes around 10 million tons of food per year. It's just a huge, huge amount. Globally, I think a third of food that is produced is, for humans is thrown away. So, there are things you can do with better meal planning. You can just make sure that you stick to your list when you're going shopping. If you are going away on holiday, speak to your neighbours. If they got room in their fridge, are they going to eat any extra food? And Hubbub, that I work in the food team, we've got lots of recipe ideas for what you can do if you've got leftover yogurt, or if you've got food that you don't know what to do with, and you've not got room in your freezer. So there are lots of things you can do. The community fridge is a great solution for local communities, but I think it starts at the home.
It does, doesn't it? It starts in the home, and some of those homes there on that Lancaster West Estate, just so diverse. And that's why we love London, isn't it? The fact that there are so many people that are here, all from different backgrounds, different experiences when it comes down to getting down in the kitchen, Abbas. And I think for a lot of the residents, are they excited about potentially what might be available to them at their community fridge?
Yes, of course. Before going to that, I have to confess I'm guilty of trying the vegetables and fruit, letting them get rotten as well. I think that one of the important things is getting that education, to all of us, and we get educated. That's there are better ways of living and healthier living and not wasting food. And yes, we have a very diverse community here, from Middle East, from Eastern Asia, going to all the way Morocco, Caribbean, everywhere, Spanish, European. And so with every ingredients we have, and we can bring it to the community fridge, there is a family who can make a good food out of it and share it with other residents and show them how they can make a different recipe.
And that's the main thing, isn't it? Being able to have the different recipes. And I noticed that Hubbub here, it says, been giving out the grow your own kits to residents, just to help grow food. And how important is the sustainability element, Liam, for you when discussing things and projects with your team and then trying to roll that out on a wider scale?
So I see sustainability in two aspects. It's important to try and show how you can adjust your day-to-day life in a way that suits you to live more sustainably. And there are lots of tips that we've got online on our Hubbub website, things that you don't have to go out of your way. Everyone can be an environmentalist, whether or not they realize it. But when we're looking at the sustainability of projects, I think the Community Fridge network, which we've developed, is the largest network in the world of community fridges, is an example of how, if you can provide free guidance and support and information to people, they've got the agency to make the projects work in their local area. They know what works best. They've got local volunteers who are hard at work and who want to make a difference to their local community. We've got projects from near Land's End all the way up to Orkney, up in Scotland, Northern Ireland. You've got, throughout the whole of the UK, we've got projects that are either in development or being set up. And, I've already mentioned that the primary driver is reducing food waste, but there are other groups that we've spoken to who are doing clothes sharing, book libraries, and other things that are part of the circular economy to try and not have things wasted.
How much more do you see things like this rolling out, Liam? Is this something that you think that over time, more and more communities, cities, and smaller areas potentially might see this as a way of living?
I don't know. I mean, we've got plans to try and establish community fridges, in all areas in the UK where there's interest to have them set up, from rural areas to urban cities. And I think that there will be continued to be interested in developing these. And we're looking to develop food hubs, which, broadens the skills and the offer of each fridge. But actually, in terms of it being a way of life, I think that it needs to be something that people consider. The food waste is an issue. It's not going away as quickly as we'd like. If anything, it's getting worse. So, solutions like this naturally will increase because people are finding innovative ways to solve common problems. And I think that we're starting to see the development and the improvement of community spaces. There's lots of shop frontages and places that are becoming empty, and you're finding lots of, innovative, creative people who are filling these spaces with community projects or solving problems, like I've just said.
Abbas, how do people on the estate who are local or who are in and around the area get to use a community fridge? Is there a way of them being able to, they have to sign up, or do they come down? Like, what's the practicalities and how does that work?
Yeah, it will be open twice a week, on Wednesday and Thursday, for 3 hours. We have advertised the hours to residents. They don't need to sign up. They just need to pop in and they can bring their leftovers if they have. If not, they can just pop in.
So they just pop in. They don't have to sign up, just on their way and come along and do that. And what happens, Liam, and what is this policy, I guess, if there's too much food and the quality is not good enough?
So when we support, all of the groups that come and join the network, they're given lots of information and guidance, and we often will have a conversation with them to just find out how they're getting on and what their needs are, what their local setting is like. And one of the things we often advise is to start small and grow as they become more confident. And that includes taking interest in the most immediate local donors of food. So that could be a local co-op and other local stores where there's surplus food available. And then starting to raise awareness of the project. And then as you get more interest from local residents coming through to share food, and households, people can come and share their own food as well. If you've got food items at home, there's guidance on what you can and can't share at the community fridge. And then as interest and appetite grows, excuse the pun, then you can start to open up more and more days. And then we've got groups who have bought more fridges, opened up new spaces because they've outgrown their current space, and their current offer is so exciting for local people that they're able to increase it.
Well, it sounds like a really, really brilliant initiative that's happening down there at Lancaster West. And there's a hashtag. It says Lancs West grows best. So it's all about sustainability, all about making sure that we're not throwing away all that food. Let's just be a little bit more conscious, I guess, and see if we can help out people who perhaps need it a little bit more than we do. So thank you so much for coming on, Liam and Abbas. That's the Community Fridge Network Manager, Liam Sweeney, and Abbas Dadou, the Chair of Lancaster West Residents Association, speaking about their community fridge here and making a difference.
BBC Radio London.
Make a difference.
When you